Bienvenue à tous, you're watching France24. This is our international press review now. Chris Moore's here. Chris, where would you like to start?
Well, you're hearing about it in the news, Mark. Sarkozy, French President Nicolas Sarkozy in Algeria. He says this trip is all about business, and not all of the Algerian press is happy with that, given the difficult history of colonialism between the two countries. Let's start off with El Watan, the Algerian paper. They lead on this story, saying Sarkozy comes to our country amid contention. The editorial there is pretty critical of Sarkozy, really, saying Algerians expect very little from this visit. And they reflect on the fact that Jacques Chirac, former President Jacques Chirac, was a lot more popular in this part of the world than Sarkozy. The writer of this editorial says that Sarkozy has positioned himself too close to George W. Bush, particularly on the Middle East, and that this is really a missed opportunity from Sarko to make amends with Algeria by focusing purely on business. The writer says that Sarkozy can't escape the colonial past, and even a gesture of apology for what he calls the crimes of the colonial
Any
army
remarks about this remark made by the Algerian cabinet minister about Sarkozy and what they call the Jewish lobby in France, a kind of anti-Semitic remark pertaining to Sarkozy's Jewish roots?
Not in this particular editorial. I mean, it's something that Sarkozy says needs to be addressed, but he's very much sidestepping any issues other than business on this trip. I mean, there's a really good cartoon, if you look in El Watan there, if you can have a look at the cartoon, you can see Sarko jetting off to Algeria with a plane full of products by big French corporations. And on the tarmac, there's a little mechanic saying, "Monsieur, you've forgotten these." And there's a box there containing files on immigration, repentance and visas. So, you know, these
I think it just
issues are just things that Sarkozy wants to...
But even Figaro, obviously the Sarkozy hymn sheet sort of like alluding to contracts after tension, so obviously that's that line. And apparently the Jewish question was kind of sorted out in a little phone call between Sarkozy and his counterpart, Bouteflika, whatever, so that seems to be put to bed.
Absolutely.
What's next?
What's next? Well, you may remember, long before Sarkozy was president, there was a woman called Ségolène Royal.
Let me think. Yes, I remember Ségolène Royal, yes, carry on.
Yep, defeated socialist candidate in the French elections in May 2007. She's been pretty quiet since then, but Sego is very much back. She's got a book out tomorrow called My Most Beautiful Story Is You, and the French press have been getting a sneak preview of that. Libé leads on it. Their front cover says, "We will meet again." This is all very much about Sego attempting to relaunch herself at the forefront of the Socialist Party, perhaps with a view to becoming the candidate next time round. And Libé sort of... they have some quite nice extracts about her relationship with her former partner, François Hollande, who was, of course, Socialist Party #1. She's actually very gracious in the way she talks about François. She says she thanks him for her support during the campaign and thanks him really for sidestepping questions about their relationship. Le Figaro also covers this story, and they call Ségolène the elephant tamer. That, of course, a reference to the fact that the senior socialists here in France are called les éléphants, the elephants, and Ségolène's been trying to sideline them since the election, although Sarkozy's done a lot of that for her by putting them in his government.
But will the elephants ever forget? I suppose that's the next question. Chris, what's your next newspaper?
Football. We need a football story.
Get to the serious stuff first.
This actually broke yesterday in the German popular paper Der Spiegel, concerning UEFA Champions League, early games for the Champions League and the UEFA Cup, claiming that up to 15 matches could have been fixed to appease a Far Eastern-based betting syndicate. These matches in countries like Bulgaria, Georgia, Serbia, Croatia and the Baltics. Now, the UK paper The Sun, they obviously love a football scandal, and they were suggesting that this could involve international games and bring about perhaps a reprieve for England, who were unceremoniously dumped out of the qualifiers for the European Championship. That now seems not to be the case, but The Sun says that they know that this kind of thing has been going on for years, and they told us 10 years ago that match fixing was a real problem in football, and we should have paid attention to them. OK, Chris Moore, thank you very much there. No reprieve for England's footballers, but mind you, do they really deserve one? Let's be honest now, we didn't play at all well, did we? You're watching France 24. This has been the International Press Review. Stay with us.